Thanks for tuning in to the Prosperity for America channel. We're very, very happy that you did, and whether it's morning or afternoon when you decided to tune in, we're thrilled that you did. Today we're going to be talking about the employment market data for the month of September in 2023. It will reflect the actual data from August of 2023, but as is with every month, it takes 10-15 days before all the data is known from the prior month, and we just like to make sure we do a thorough look at what the market looks like if you're trying to evaluate whether or not it's a good time for you to look for a new position. And what we're seeing is overall it's still a very good time to look for a position, but there are things that are happening that are making it not as easy as it was, but it's still a good market for looking for a new position. But let's take a look at why. First of all, it's the big number that everybody always knows is the unemployment rate is now at 3.8% national. That's the unemployment rate. Now, last month it was 3.5%. So in a month it went up 0.3%. If you go back to June of this year, it had reached a low of 3.4%. So clearly unemployment is starting to rise, but actually that's mostly due to the fact that the amount of people that are looking for a position has grown a little bit, and that's probably because the wages have gone up a bit. So at this point in time, there's still 5.83 million people unemployed in our country, and there's roughly 156 million that have positions, full-time positions in the entire United States economy. And last month, our economy added 187,000 jobs. So that means we went from 156.2 million people working in the United States to 156.4 million that are working at this moment here in September. That's still, the market is going where we're adding jobs versus subtracting jobs. And that's why the reason that the unemployment rate went up was because we added more people to the pool. There's people sometimes that just simply choose not to be looking for a position, and those are not counted as unemployed until they've decided that they're trying to look for a job. So, aside from that statistical fact, I just wanted us to delve down a little bit deeper into it so you really see the mechanics of it. Now, there are 5.83 million Americans unemployed. Currently, at this very moment, there are 8.8 million positions or jobs being advertised, being paid advertising in the United States by companies looking for workers. So at this point in time, there's still 3 million more jobs available than there are unemployed people. That means if every one of the 5.83 million people found a job tomorrow, there would still be 3 million jobs extra in our country, which is still a terrific thing. It's not a typical thing. In other words, over the 70 to 100 years that we have been a industrial economy, maybe even more than that, 120 years, very rarely actually over that time frame do we have more jobs than unemployed. So we're still in good shape. It's going to take a little while yet as they've tried to slow down the economy with interest rates and such. We're still in a market that is really a good time to look for a new position. Last month, another sign of just a little weakening was that the amount of people that quit their job and took another job was at 3.55 million people. The previous month, it was at 4.24 million people found a new position or quit their position to find a new position. And the previous month it was up at 4.4 million. So it's declining some. And just to give you another point of just to illustrate the decline, we go back 3 months ago, June of 2023, there was 11.3 million jobs being advertised in the United States that were open. So that's declined over the last 3 months by around 2.5 million jobs have either been filled, but maybe people didn't decide that they needed anyone else. So basically that number is like when we were at 11.3 million jobs being advertised, we were at 5.6 million people unemployed. That was literally almost 2 jobs for every unemployed person that was available. So right now we still have 8.8 million jobs being advertised, and we have 5.83 million people out of work. So that's roughly about 1.5 jobs for every unemployed person. Still a very good place to be, but you can see where things are starting to weaken a bit. Something that's held steady is about 220,000 people are filing for new unemployment claims this past week, and it's what had drifted up to somewhere between 240 and 250,000, but it's kind of drifted back down. Part of that is because when it comes to weekly unemployment claims, there's still 75 to 77,000 million Americans retiring every week in the United States, roughly 11,000 a day. So when that means that that's 77,000 people that if a company was considering laying off, they don't have to. That's 77, nearly a third of the 220,000. It could be a whole quarter higher if there wasn't that many retirees occurring every day. So, all in all, you would find it a good time to look for positions. The average wage in our country has gone up 5.6% this past year, but inflation is still an issue. Matter of fact, the inflation rate went back up to 6% on an annualized basis this past month for that snapshot. So that pretty much means that, for people just to stay in the same place, where they have to get pretty much close to a 5% raise each year, and over a 3 or 4 year period, that adds up to a big 20 to 24%. So when it comes involved with, like, for example, in the news, you're finding the union strike for the automotive industry. That was a 4-year contract. So if you take 5 or 6% inflation times 4 years, that's 20 to 24% right there. But that's also compounding. So that's really probably 25 to 27%. So in their next contract, they would need 25 to 27% just to stay in the same place to make up for what's happening inflation-wise. So I'm going to end on that note. We really still feel this is a good time to look for a position. It's deteriorated a little bit, but still very much above average over the last 40 or 50 years. So, we just want to make sure you had all the information handy in one place without having to look in 5 different places over a week's time like we did to get all this information together for you. So have a great day. If you're looking to change positions, please do send your resume or look at prosperity.jobs. And you can email your resume to myfuture@prosperityhr.com. So have a great day. Thanks. Looking for a technical professional or operations management position? Visit prosperity.jobs. For tips on how to get a better response to your resume online or how to interview more effectively to have a more prosperous career, visit the Prosperity for America channel on YouTube. Prosperity, it's what we all want. Just wanted to remind you that if you like this video, please do subscribe to our Prosperity for America channel.